unfortunately, we live in a time where Valve is very profitable, and as such, there are people that are absolutely seething at this. For various reasons, some of them control freaks, authoritarian assholes that view a platform like Valve as an amazing way to perform social engineering. I mean, just think about it. Imagine if you can get access and make certain terms of service, like let's say you're not allowed to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse or some shit. And if someone does, they get banned. They lose their entire gaming library, their entire account. Can you imagine just how much control would you have over people's lives? Just like how easy it would be to social engineer people if you had that level of of power. Like, we're taking away your video games. This is what one of the people working at Sweet Baby actually said that got the entire company into trouble. He was like, we should take away his games library because he's talking against DEI. So a lot of authoritarian fascist assholes, they're salivating at the concept of being in charge of Valve. Then there are grifters, people who are angry that there's economic transactions happening and they're not getting a cut. Consultant companies, that type of idiots. And then people that like to do the American tradition of race-based nepotism, where you're part of some ideology and you want to get your friends to have a nice, cozy job at a massive multi-million-dollar corporation so they can suck that money while putting very little in because they got in through the back door because of nepotism rather than merit. And there's also probably China, competitors that also want their own gaming platforms. And they're upset that Valve exists, that it's crushing their competition, that they're unable to convince people of doing that. Even Western AAA games, they're upset. They would like if you can make a account on Ubisoft, if you can make an account on their platform. I mean, Blizzard is probably seething that their Battle.net isn't popular and they have to go crawling back to Steam. So there's a lot of people that absolutely hate the fact that Valve is popular. They're absolutely seething. And when you're looking at Valve, it's a very small company for the number of profits that it's making. It doesn't hire that much staff. They're not really that obsessed with controlling people. It does have its own censorship, and it does struggle here and there. But overall, compared to other companies, it's ran very efficient. Again, compared to other companies, not compared to how it would be ideal. And so it begs the question, why is this corporate lackey all of a sudden concerned about Valve? Like, does he have some wisdom that Gabe doesn't know? Is he an expert in marketing? Is he hoarding some knowledge that needs to be shared? And if the answer is yes, why isn't he charging for it? Why are these journalists all of a sudden experts into what makes a company great? And why the fuck are CEOs listening to them? That's even the biggest question, because that's how it started in 2016. You had like all these journalists, it's like, oh, we'll tell you how to make comic books great. We'll tell you how to make video games great. And now the comic book industry is dominated by manga, and the video game industry is starting to get dominated by China. Maybe just don't listen to them. Maybe if they knew, they would start their own companies. Or maybe they have ulterior motives. Because I think that's it. It's not to make Valve more profitable. And this idea that like Valve needs to hire more women. Does this look like a guy that cares about women? Well, like all of them? Every single one? Is he like the type of person that cares about strangers? Does he go to the church? Does he donate money to orphanages? Is that like this type of person that we're talking about? Does he have like compassion without empathy? Is he like, his compassion rivals that of Jesus Christ? Like he cares about all the women on earth? Like hundreds of millions of people that he never met? Some of them may be assholes or criminals, but he cares about them and he wants some of them to get a job at Blizzard. Is this what I need to believe? No one is this compassionate. No one is this empathetic. And if you generally want to hire women, why don't you start a company and hire them? Or give an example of like this person deserved to be at Valve. She got an interview and she was rejected because she was a woman. Because if you can actually do that, she would probably win a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Because it's illegal to discriminate like that. But no, instead we have to assume, we gotta make the assumption that if Valve doesn't have a number of women, then it must be because they're racist or they're sexist or whatever the fuck, right? And it's such a nerfed strategy in 2025. All Gabe has to do, Gabe, listen to me. Like, you can fool the Democrats with this. Like, this is some magic that baffles them. They think they're smart, but they're not. All you gotta do is to tell your employees, all of them, to identify as women. It confuses the living shit out of the Democrats. All the leftists are absolutely baffled by this level of mysticism. They say they don't believe in religion, but if you actually do this, you tell all of your employees to identify as women, they will think you're the most diverse company in the world. No, in reality, the reason they're doing this is self-sabotage and grifting. They want consultants, right? Like, they want their fat, massive corporeal manifestation of consultants who are starving right now because they're getting kicked out from all the companies. They want the consultants to be in charge of Valve. Because that's how you hire women. When you're a big company, you can't do the hiring yourself. You need to hire one of these consultants. And the consultants will do the hiring for you. And once they do that, they start to empire build within your little company. They become like Stalin. They become like what Stalin was for Lenin. This is how they become. And then they hire activists. They put people in key positions that can crush down your company. And only a person like Elon Musk can unfuck your company after that by firing probably like 70% of the workforce. They bloat your company. They suck resources. They suck money from your company like parasites. And that's what happened to Twitter and many other companies that are absolutely bloated by this level of fat, pulling the company down. You notice that China doesn't do that, right? If diversity was so great, you'd think that China would be on it. You'd be like, why is this company hiring only Chinese people? Like, we need to start hiring some white women in order to become stronger. They would covet white women. They would have like the equivalent of an H-1B visa, targeting American women, inviting them to China to increase the diversity in their companies. Does that happen? No, why not? Why isn't this journalist concerned about the well-being of China? Oh, I know, he's a patriot, right? He doesn't want to share the secrets, the American secrets to success, to the Chinese. Share them to the Indians then. Maybe they can appreciate it, right? Like, their country is developing. Like share these secrets to them. It's like, hey, Indians, you need more diversity. You need to start hiring Americans. Like, have some outreach program in Detroit or in California, and get some people from there. You know, there's a lot of homeless people in America. Like, maybe some of them are the best and brightest. You just gotta trade them. You don't know. The reality is that the reason they're doing this is because they want companies to fail. If diversity, inclusivity, and equity was actually a key to success, you wouldn't have banks encouraging it. The companies would do so by themselves. Like, it wouldn't even be a question, like, what is your ESG rating? Show it. No, like, all the companies, in order to maximize profits, would maximize their ESG ratings. The reality is that this brain rot ideology of America, that if you have a couple of white people working at the company, it's like some inherent evil. Why is it evil, though? I don't think it's evil if some black dudes start the company. I don't think it's evil if some Chinese dudes start the company. Why is it evil if white dudes do it? And again, like, if you can prove that they're preventing people from other races to get a job at the company, even though they would deserve it, then yeah, you have a discrimination suit. But that's not what you're saying, is it? You're not saying that they're discriminating. You're just saying, well, we're looking at the number. Why are you even looking? What the fuck is your business? You're not a shareholder to that company. Yeah, but like, I don't like the fact that the cock and pussy. Are you a pervert? Are you obsessed with genitals? Fuck is wrong with you, man? Diversity crisis. What does the crisis even mean? Like, what would happen if it's not fixed? You know, like, usually a crisis, if it's not fixed, something horrible happens. It's like, my basement is flooded. It's a crisis. If I don't fix it, my house can potentially rot. There's an earthquake. That's a crisis. If you don't get to safety, something might fall on your head, right? Like, but for some reason, like, the diversity crisis. Where's the crisis? I mean, is China suffering from a diversity crisis? Is India? I mean, India must be in a desperate diversity crisis. Pakistan as well. Like, there's nations in the world. Your job wouldn't be focusing on Steve. You'd have to focus on these poor nations that are suffering from diversity crisis. I guess America, right? They were suffering a diversity crisis until the colonists came. When the colonists came, they fixed the crisis. Holy shit. How is no one mocking this ideology? It's so fucking ridiculous. Like just by hearing it being mentioned out loud, it makes you laugh, but people actually take it seriously. The interesting thing is that Valve is under such huge attacks right now, and I gave you the reasons. Another entity that was attacking Valve was the ADL. What they did is they considered Pepe the Frog something that even leftists use, like Vosh, Hassan, like leftist commentators use Pepe the Frog. No, that's, according to the ADL, is a Nazi symbol. Like when Hitler, when he started World War II, he had the Pepe the Frog. Like there were tanks with Pepe the Frogs. It was an invasion of Pepes that went into Stalingrad. According to the ADL, I mean, who am I to question their fucking wisdom? And so, if every single incident of a Pepe the Frog is a hate symbol, like every single time someone posts a Pepe the Frog, that's a Nazi in disguise, then yeah, they found millions of cases on Valve. Even if that was true, by the way, they have like hundreds of millions of subscribers. And so it would have been a very low percentage. And even then, like out of if you eliminate the Pepes, which were 50% of their article, you end up with stuff that may even be jokes. Like someone posts a swastika. What if he's like a cheeky little shit? Like, he's not a racist. He doesn't care about the ideology, but he just posts a swastika because he wants to be a cheeky little shit. Is that not allowed? Well, apparently no. Apparently not. Like, this guy is concerned. Okay. The ADL spurred out. The US Senate is spurging out. And by the way, last time I checked, Valve is a private company, right? Don't they have free speech? Don't they have to abide by the same rules where the government gets to fuck off? Or is America a fascist dictatorship now? And they're very concerned about how companies operate. Why is America concerned about how a company operates? Oh, it's because it's a nice vector for social engineering, right? Like a lot of young people use Valve. And therefore, let's allow the government to start tinker with it. I see. Fascinating. China, again, doesn't like it. Other AAA companies don't like it. I mean, Ubisoft is peak corporate level, right? Like, what is their ESG ranks? SS+? They call the cops on gamers. They were very happy about that. Like, they had an article in the UK. It's like, yeah, we're working with the police, and if you say something racist, we can inform the cops. We call the cops on your ass. If you do some banter, if you post Pepe's, like what is racism even? Like the definition is in flux. It's like gender fluid, like fluid racism. Like today a Pepe the Frog is innocent, tomorrow it's hate speech. The OK sign, milk. What other nonsense they're coming up with in order to inflate the numbers? And so I hope Valve remains strong. Like the only thing that Valve had to win is to not change. Just remain the same company as it was when it was founded, have the same corporate values, the same people that created it all the way until now, and it's one of the most recognized brands in the world, a brand that is beloved by gamers. They very rarely get into some controversy, and they also destroyed piracy. They crushed piracy. Like, I remember when I was a kid, people were pirating games nonstop. Now, almost no one is pirating. And so, I hope that Valve finds the strength in order to survive these mischievous, subversive attacks by corporate entities and many others. I know it's hard, especially now that Gabe, I saw pictures of the man. He's got white hair. Doesn't have his youth anymore, but I hope he still has his fire. I hope he maintains his spirit, because goddammit, he is one of the last few respectable companies in the gaming industry. And you know why? Because he respects his customers. That's the key importance thing. It's not a diversity crisis, it's a customer crisis. And many of these woke companies are suffering from, hiring community managers from hell, having takes that are completely detached from the rest of society. Yeah, Valve doesn't give a shit about advertisers. It doesn't do advertisements. The only thing that they care about is the customer. They want you to buy games so they can take a chunk of the profit. That's it. And so they have no interest in listening to chuckleheads. You can't pressure them. The ADL can't do shit. We're going to see if the US Senate does something. Usually when you say no to the government, there's consequences. But hey, Times are changing. We get a new presidency, a new way of thinking, and hopefully this type of video is going to be laughed the same way we laugh at the satanic panic. It's like, look how ridiculous people were back then. Why did anyone take them seriously? Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.